Hey, I want to talk to you about disrupting communication with your spouse. It can happen so easily. It usually happens because we're unaware, or it can happen because we are so fixated on trying to explain ourselves till we end up disrupting communication and intimacy. And we know we need intimate communication for almost everything we do in a romantic relationship. So let's look at the first thing that can happen that can cause you to unconsciously or consciously disrupt communication, intimate communication. The first thing you can end up doing is just straight up interrupting. And that's straight up interrupting your spouse. This is really critical because when you or your spouse begin to communicate, come on, let's look at this a little closer. When you communicate, you actually are trying to express something to them in words, and you're trying to link your thoughts together. And sometimes I know when I do it, and my wife, when we do it, we'll share something, then we'll go back and we'll reword it because we're trying to get to a place where our words better express what we're saying and who we are. And so we get to a place when we'll say like, no, I didn't mean that. Let me go back. Let me change. I think this word better explains what I'm trying to say. And that's a part of communicating. You're trying to develop yourself and in your expressions, and so interrupting that can break up the continuity when you're trying to explain something. I'm not saying we should let our spouse talk one-sided for 10 to 15 minutes, right? But at least for the first minute or two, you got to let them explain themselves and then re-explain themselves. And when you interrupt that, you really stop the whole process of them opening up, because when they begin to explain themselves in different shades, forms, and words and phrases and connecting thoughts together, they're really opening themselves up. So you don't want to disrupt or stop them from opening themselves up, because remember, in order to create greater intimacy, a person has to open up, and whenever you open up, you take a risk. Okay, so you don't want to mess that up by interrupting that. You don't want to do that. The second one, I think, is just as important, not acknowledging someone's efforts. If your spouse is the type of spouse, that whether they're outside the home or inside the home, you have to acknowledge their efforts. Just think about it. It's not somebody else's responsibility to acknowledge their efforts. It's not someone on the job responsibility, and it's not her sister or her mother's responsibility to acknowledge her efforts. That's your responsibility. And when people don't acknowledge your efforts, what it usually feels like is that you're disconnected. You're doing something, but it's a rote doing it, and you're not really connected with what's happening. You feel like you're not important. And that, once again, that can disrupt the intimate communication you need to move closer to each other. The next one, dismissing feelings. This is huge. You don't dismiss another person's feelings. You may not agree with their feelings. You may not know how they arrived at that feeling. And so you would ask them questions. So here's a way to do it. If you disagree, you can ask them the question, do you mean this? Or did you get here by thinking, or because you saw, did you mean this? Well, what does that mean? When you begin to communicate like that, that type of interruption is a healthy interruption that can be tolerated, because you're trying to get with them. You're trying to be all present. You want to be there. So that's cool. But don't dismiss their feelings. Say, well, I don't understand it. That don't make sense. That's stupid. Okay, don't dismiss their feelings by moving into your deep reasoning, which men can do real easily, and women can too, or moving in a place where you're trying to talk rationality. Okay, no, you don't do that when it comes to feelings. Feelings are not rational. They're not reasonable. But let them get the feeling out so that they can connect with you, because remember this is very important. Humans connect at the emotion level. If I can feel what you feel, there's a connection that's going to take place. Whether I agree with it or not, I can feel your intensity. I can feel your disappointment. I can feel your excitement. Okay, and that's where humans make the connect. So don't dismiss feelings by trying to move into deep logic. And the last one I want to touch on is this one: trying to fix things. It's kind of automatic for us as men to try to fix things, and we can get get to going on a tangent. We can start batting 1,000, man. You know, we fixed the porch light. We went in and we fixed the garbage disposal thing. We fixed the garbage thing inside the sink. You know, that we got put a new one in, and we fixed something else in the bathroom. We got the toilet running again. The sink is unclogged, right? And we can feel like, man, we're batting 1,000. We're good. And so when your spouse shares something with you, what can happen is that you will try to fix it. You'll get aggressive and very assertive, and you're trying to fix it, not knowing that you're sabotaging your intimate communication. And when you try to fix it and she's frustrated, it's like, what's going on? And this is what's usually happening. She may fail to tell you that she just needs your support. She just needs your understanding. And there are times when men are on that in that place too. They just need somebody to hear what they're going through, to hear their frustrations, to hear their anxieties. They don't need somebody to fix it. I don't need nobody to call or try to do this to fix it. I just need to be heard. And a lot of times when you're heard, that can really just buttress up your intimacy, your unity, because someone understands you. Because remember, again, humans connect at the emotion level.